All right, so 3 in 5 Americans now believe AI job losses will make it impossible for them to afford a home. Not a fringe view, 59% crossing party lines. In a Redfin survey published this year, buyer confidence just fell to its lowest point in 3 years. At the same time, AI just cut the cost of every major step in a real estate transaction by 50 to 95%. Two things happening simultaneously. So that's what we're going to kind of cover in this episode. And real estate is just one of those things I've always been interested in. I owned a couple houses when I lived in the US, moved to Costa Rica, bought property, sold property. I'm always kind of keep my eye on real estate, and I've seen the markets change and shift, especially as we're coming into AI. I have a good friend who is now basically focusing his entire AI automation business on coming up with solutions for basically real estate agents. That's a big deal now. Yeah. So 3 in 5, that's not a niche concern. That's your neighbor. That's your kids, friends, parents. That's the most of the people at your next dinner party. The AI anxiety has landed in the most personal financial decision most people ever make, of course, which is your home, right? So the fear is real and it's showing up in the data. The share of Americans actively saving for a home dropped from 75 to 69% in a single year. U.S. buyer confidence in navigating the home buying process fell from 83% in 2025 to 72% in 2026. The mechanism is straightforward. If AI displaces enough white collar jobs, which, a lot of people are really fearing this because a lot of people didn't believe it. Not me, not me. I don't think so. And now it's happening. And it's happening. And it just keeps taking things that people just don't see coming. The people who were most likely to qualify for a mortgage, the ones earning 80 to 120,000 a year in information and knowledge roles, became the most financially vulnerable. The uncertainty alone is enough to freeze a purchasing decision that takes years to reverse. Small and mid-sized cities are already seeing an uptick in younger buyers moving towards affordable rents and blue-collar career stability. The geography of where people want to live is shifting because the economics of which jobs are stable is completely shifting. Yeah, the uncertainty alone is enough to freeze a purchasing decision that takes years to reverse. Yeah, I mean, it's a big decision buying your first house. I mean, it's like a lifetime mortgage decision, something you're going to deal with. So you got to think it through very carefully, especially in this day and age. Yeah, so I want to sit with that sentence. A 30-year mortgage entered in a moment of maximum career uncertainty. Yeah, I understand why people are pausing. So here's the other half of the story. For anyone who does move forward with a real estate transaction, AI has just dismantled the cost structure of the entire process. Traditional home staging, bringing in furniture, a designer, a photographer, costs between $1,500 and $4,000 per listing. AI virtual staging now costs under $1 per photo and delivers a photorealistic image in like 15 seconds. It's pretty crazy how you can do that. You can just take a picture of an empty house inside and just say, "Hey, I want you to completely furnish this and design this and give me a couple different looks. Give me an Asian look. Give me a Spanish look." I mean, it's pretty amazing what it can do. The quality is genuinely impressive. Nearly, especially with the new Chat GPT image model. I mean, you can't tell the difference. I mean, actually, it looks better than you could ever stage. Why do the whole thing? Bring in the furniture, photography. It's insane. It's very impressive. Nearly 30% of agents report that staged homes receive offers 1 to 10% higher than unstaged ones. That premium now costs almost nothing to access. Mortgage processing is moving the same direction. AI driven underwriting is pushing straightforward loans toward sub 15-day closings, down from 30 to 45 days. Buyer's agent commissions, historically 2.5 to 3% of the purchase price, because real estate, right, commissions 6%, and then the two sides split it, usually 3-3, and then depending on exactly where you are, you might only get 2.5 and pay a fee. But that's why it's nice to represent the buyer and the seller. if you can, right? So yeah, so the 3% of purchase price are being undercut by AI assisted flat fee models. Turbo home charges 1% or $10,000 flat. On a $700,000 home, that's a saving of $7,000 to $11,000 compared to a traditional agent. So yeah, you should try it out. Take a picture of any room in your house and just drop it into ChatGPT and say, "Can you remodel or decorate this? Give me." Um, just say, "I want to try 5 different styles. Do one at a time," and then you could come up with different themes. And I mean, it can give you ideas. It's just insane. Like it really is. AI is changing the world. Yeah, under $1 a photo. I mean, even if that much versus $4,000 for a traditional version, and you get this in literally 15 seconds on AI. This is the staging industry's version of the $400 lawyer, which we covered a whole thing in a couple of videos ago about basically how AI is basically changing the law, the legal law industry. The output exists, the cost just collapsed. The question is whether the industry admits it or just tries to fight it. Never try to fight technology, you will lose every time. All right. So what's the market actually doing? Redfin calls out 2026 the start of the great housing reset. Not a crash, not a boom, something more useful. Income growth outpacing home prices for the first time since the Great Recession. And with this oil thing, everything, we could be going into a greater depression. Many believe it. Nobody thinks it'll happen, and then these kind of things do happen eventually. So the numbers, home prices rising just 1% year over year. Mortgage rates averaging 6.3%, down from 6.6 in 2025. Home sales up to 3% to 4.2 million annualized. None of those numbers scream excitement, but together they point to the first genuinely affordability improvement in years. For buyers who have stable income, the caveat is the AI fear overlay. The people most likely to be sitting on the sidelines in 2026 are the ones in high exposure white collar roles who can't be sure their income is secure for the next 30 years. That group overlaps heavily with the group that drives housing demand. The market is reset, but not for everyone at once. Well, we are in a knowledge-based society. We went from a physical industrial base where everybody did physical work, and then we spent the last 30 years moving to a knowledge base, and now AI is basically going to gobble all that up. So, people aren't completely stupid. They know, and they're paying attention. And you come out of college. Maybe you came out of college 3 years ago, and you're in your job now. AI is taking over, and you're thinking, I don't know how secure I am. Do I really want to risk it? And a lot of people are starting to, there's a lot of information out there about minimalism and like don't take on so much risk. And why do you need why do you need this brainwashed white picket fence, 3 4 bedroom house with an office and all this and that? It locks you down, it roots you down. And in times of war and chaos, you need to have a nice chunk of crypto, Bitcoin, decentralized, depending on where you live, because you can uproot and just get going and find a better place very quickly. But when you do this whole mortgage stuck in one location, I don't know if that's the way it should be for this world, the new world. The great housing reset, not a crash, not a boom, a reset, which is actually what you want if you've been priced out for 5 years. Unless your career is also resetting at the same time, of course, in which case timing is suboptimal. So it's kind of ironic that, they've been talking about the medium home price outpricing, just constantly going up and outpricing people. And now the medium home price might be going down, but now people aren't going to feel secure enough to go out and buy a house. Um, I've been through a lot of this. I've bought 2 houses. I've sold it all, moved it, bought property, sold my property, minimized down. And now what I really want in my 50s is I want to be lightweight. I don't want to be locked down, strapped down. I want to have things set up with the ability that I can move anywhere if I need to. That's the way my thinking is now. So 3 moves worth thinking through, depending on where you sit. If you're selling, look at AI virtual staging before you pay for traditional staging. I mean, every month it just gets better, anyways, right? The quality gap has closed. The cost gap hasn't. Tools like Kaloi and Reimagine Home produce photorealistic images in seconds for under $5. If you're listing a vacant property, this is a straightforward call. If you're buying, explore the flat fee AI assisted buyer's agent model before defaulting to a traditional 3% commission. On a $600,000 purchase, the difference is real money. Turbo Home, Homey, and similar services are worth understanding before you sign a buyer's agency agreement. If you currently own, the reset is slow. Prices are rising 1%. Rates are inching down. This is not a market that rewards panic in either direction. The honest move is to run your local market data through a tool like Redfin's AI estimator before making any decision based on national headlines. So on a $600,000 purchase, the difference between 3% and 1% is about $12,000. That's a year of solopreneur AI tool stack. That's a nice chunk of Bitcoin while it's dipping. That's a significant holiday. That's real money that most people hand over because they didn't know there was another option. And that is the thing with AI is you don't know what you don't know. And, hopefully I can uncover as much. The reason why I started this channel is so that I have a reason, incentive to kind of dig up these kind of things. And when I create a video and I share it, it just really helps me kind of understand and internalize it. And hopefully a couple of you guys out there watch these videos and maybe you learn something, investigate something. So yeah, 2 things are true about AI and housing in 2026. It's generating enough uncertainty to freeze buyers who would otherwise be in the market. And it's cutting the cost of the transaction for anyone who does move forward. The people who do best in a market like this are the ones who understand both sides clearly and make decisions based on their own data, not the loudest headline. So go ahead and subscribe, and let's keep going, right? Let's keep coming up with some cool topics. I got a bunch more coming. So until the next video, remember,